The SOWLE Goal.
Hello everybody, welcome to the SOWLE RV Podcast. I am Mark.
And I am Angie with SOWLE RV. This week we are focusing on the SOWLE Goal. This is where we share our stories and stories from others about anything related to RV camping and traveling. In today's episode, we are going to share a story about our trial run in our brand new, at the time, Heritage Glen Travel trailer. Back in 2018, we purchased our first brand new travel trailer, a 2018 Forest River Wildwood Heritage Glen 302 FK. This travel trailer was a much needed upgrade for us, as we had always purchased used RVs and we really needed one that was safer health-wise for our son because of his medical issues. We want to share a few details with you about this RV, and then we will get to the story about our first trial run in this brand new RV. Some details about this 2018 Forest River Wildwood Heritage Glen 302 FK is that it sleeps 4, it has 2 slide outs, and is 35 foot 6 inches. It also has dual entry, the main entry into the living room and an additional entry into the bedroom. However, the kitchen is the biggest factor point of this RV. It has a huge front kitchen thanks to the slide out with the countertops that wrap halfway around the kitchen, an electric residential refrigerator, a huge pantry, and a booth dinette. Can you tell I love that kitchen? Next to the kitchen is the living room. The living room is in the same slide out as the kitchen, and it has a trifold sofa, an entertainment center, and 2 rocking recliners with an end table in between them. There is also a huge window behind those rocker recliners that provides a great view for the outdoors. When you go down the hall a bit, you have the bathroom on the right with a radius shower, toilet, sink, and cabinets. As you make your way down the hall a bit further, you enter the bedroom. Like I mentioned earlier, the bedroom has its own entry door from the outside. Additionally, this is where the second slide out is located. There is also a king-size bed, 2 nightstands, and a large wardrobe. The exterior of this RV has lots of storage, a gas grill, and an outdoor kitchen with a sink and electric mini fridge. There is also a 19-foot awning that covers both entry doors.
We decided to do a trial run of this new travel trailer a few weekends before our first big trip was planned with our extended family. We wanted to ensure that everything was working perfectly, and honestly, we were so excited to have a brand new RV that we just couldn't wait to get out and go camping. So we reserved a spot at a nearby state campground. It wasn't the greatest campsite, but worked fine for our trial run for the weekend. This is the frustrating first trial run in our new camper we are actually thankful for. With any new travel trailer, it takes a little more getting used to when first towing it. This trailer was no exception. It was heavier than in the trailer we had before, and it was longer. With it being brand new, it makes you feel a little more tense while driving it, not knowing how it will react to the wind and the highway traffic. I did not have the trailer hitch set up properly with the weight distribution for the first trip, so it did bounce on the back end of the Suburban a little bit more than I'd cared for. But it was not a long trip and we made it safe and no problems. When we get to the campground, the first thing I do is get the travel trailer level so we can get Aiden out of the van and inside the RV. When I went to level it, I got a bit of a rude awakening. This new RV had electric stabilizers, but what I did not realize is that the stabilizers will not correct any form of unlevelness. I had thought that by putting blocks underneath one side of the stabilizer or another, it would raise it up more, but the way the stabilizer system is designed, it won't allow that to happen. It just blocks it at wherever you have it set out. Now I had to get the leveling blocks out, drive up onto them, get everything perfectly level before I put down the stabilizers. I was able to do it, no big deal, but it took about an hour and 15 minutes while trying to figure out the jacks and doing everything instead of the normal 15 it should have. The good thing about it is investigate before purchasing your RV if it has electronic leveling jacks or just stabilizers. Then understanding the difference between the two. With the stabilizers, you must have the unit level first. With leveling jacks, they will level the camper for you as long as it's pretty close to level beforehand. Once we got the camper all set up, we realized that the refrigerator was not working on the 12-volt inverter that was supposed to convert the 12-volt to 110 volt with our residential fridge. We went ahead and plugged it into shore power, and that got the refrigerator up and running, so there wasn't any issues with the refrigerator, thankfully. We found out later that it was due to faulty wiring in the power inverter. Next, we turned on the switch on the inside of our camper to get electric hot water working. Had already hooked up all the hoses. We waited about an hour or so, turned on the hot water, and it was a no-go. No hot water. Getting frustrated, thinking maybe we didn't get all the air out of the lines and maybe it burned out the heating element or something. So I went out to the hot water heater to inspect it on the back of the RV where it was located. And unlike our old RVs that just had the switch on the inside to turn on the electric portion, this RV with the hot water tank had another switch on the tank itself as well as the one inside. After turning that one on, hot water worked great. Problem solved.
How much if you flip the switch it works, huh?
Yep, just a new RV, trying to get used to it. Once we were finally able to start enjoying our trip, we were starting to put things away in the inside. We raised up the bed that had 2 lift support arms that helped hold the bed up when you raised it for the storage compartment underneath. Those support arms were held onto the bed with just little wood screws that ripped right out of the wood. Not a massive deal, but it's, you can't reach down and put things in there with the bed falling on you, so it was a little bit of a hassle. We were able to get this taken care of just by running it back to the dealer that we had, and they put carriage bolts through and secured it properly. No big deal.
Yeah, we never had an issue with it again after that.
Nope.
Overall, this was a really nice RV. We both loved the size of the kitchen. However, we just needed more space to move Aiden around in his wheelchair, and single slide outs in a living room and kitchen area and bedroom were just not enough to do that. But we did end up finding our perfect RV for us the next year, so we were kind of glad to have the experience of the frustrating first trial run in our new RV that we were actually thankful for. So we knew what to look for in our next RV.
That is it for today's episode of the SOWLE RV Podcast. We hope that you have enjoyed our story about a trial run in our brand new Heritage Glen Travel trailer and why it was the frustrating first trial run in our new RV we are actually thankful for.
Thanks so much for joining us today. As always, SOWLE RV encourages you to safely get out and live and explore the world around you. If you'd like to check out our show notes from today's episode, just go over to SOWLERV.com, click underneath podcast, and make sure you follow us on social media and be sure to hit that subscribe button below.